Hey, hello, and welcome back. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity, and today we are talking about rebooting 2022 for you. Now, this time of year can be a two-sided coin, so to speak. It's exciting because it's a new chapter. You've got a new year, things are starting fresh, kind of a clean slate. The holidays are behind you. But it can be overwhelming and stressful at the same time because of all of what I just said. But it can also be an opportunity, and an opportunity where you get to mine the triumphs of 2021 and also the tragedies for wisdom. This is a time of year where you can leverage the past to uplevel your future. And I want to help you do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look back to be able to move forward. So I'd like to plant a few seeds in your head and just have them kind of swim around in that sphere for a while as you travel and do what it is as you're integrating back into work after the holidays, the new year. And I want you to consider some questions and allow your mind to just kind of soak in the answers. This doesn't have to be something where you focus on it and you've got to come up with an answer. I want you to approach these exercises with the spirit of just allowing, asking them softly and seeing what percolates up to the surface. So here's where I'd like you to start. First question, what worked last year? So consider in 2021, all of the things that went really well. Make a list of them. As you come up with things, then jot it down on a piece of paper. It could be that you drew some boundaries around early morning meetings because it interfered with getting the kids to school. Or maybe it was a new role that you said, hey, I want to step up for that. It could be that you created device-free evenings, no scrolling through the phone, no answering calls, or maybe you just started eating a little more clean. Maybe you leaned a little bit towards vegetarian. Whatever it was that pops into your mind, personally or professionally, both, okay? Make a list and just see how many you can come up with about, hey, these are the things that went really well last year. Because one of the things that happens as women in business, as strategic, brilliant, smart women in business, we still don't celebrate the things that go right as much as we should. So I'd like you to create that list. So next, I want you to look at each item on the list and decide, okay, out of this, what are the ones that I want to have more of? So maybe, for instance, you decided to eat vegetarian and you're feeling a whole lot better. And you're thinking, okay, this is working for me. I want more of that because of how it makes you feel. So consider the things that are on your list that went well that you want to keep doing. So I have been working with a health coach. I have made a donation back to the universe of 40 pounds, and I am feeling really good. So that is definitely something that went really well in 2021. And it's something I want to do more of in 2022. My body is my foundation. It is the energy that I have. And if I'm not feeling well, then I can't show up for myself or anyone else or you. So that is something that I definitely want to keep going with. Maybe you started eliminating those really early morning meetings and that is working well for you. Then that's something you want to protect and you want to move that into 2022. So think about the things that went well. Think about what it is that you want to take with you as you go into the new year. All right. Finally, I would like you to look at that same list, the things that went really well, and decide which ones you want to have less of in 2022. So even though it went well, maybe it was something that was too time consuming, or you didn't enjoy it as much as you thought you would. It went good, but it just, it didn't make you feel energy rich, so to speak. Well, that's a sign too. And it's a sign that perhaps you let that go. So what went well? What are you going to keep? What are you going to let go of? So for me this year, it's letting go of one of the organizations that I'm a member of. I've enjoyed being a member of the organization, but because I am stepping into the board chair position of Athena International, an amazing organization that helps to honor, develop, and support women leaders from the classroom to the boardroom, small plug there. That's going to take more of my time. So as chair of the board of that organization, I know it's going to take more of my time. So I had to let something go, even though it worked for me. So that's kind of an example. Next, I want you to consider what didn't work last year. Consider all the things that didn't go well, didn't go the way that you thought that they would. What were they? And again, make a list as these things pop into your brain, as you just kind of consider as you have your coffee or whatever percolates into your brain, make a list and consider which ones you're going to let go of because they were an absolute train wreck. Okay. Maybe there are others on the list that it's kind of like, okay, the way it happened didn't work well, but it's something that's important to me. So I want to try again, but I'm going to try with a different approach. So it could be that new leadership or management isn't working so well for you. I hear this so much from my clients that, I was happy with my job. I was good with what I was doing. And then new leadership came in and I just feel like I'm being shoved out, or I feel like I'm being overlooked. So perhaps it's time to make a move because you do think you're being pushed out. And I know that feeling because I have been there. It is not pleasant. Kind of ticks you off a little bit too. So capture what it is that isn't working for you on a list. And you'll know because you have a feeling about it. You don't feel good. Your gut is telling you, no bueno, this isn't working, okay? What is the biggest, most painful thing on this list? That is the item that you really need to figure a way around. It is an obstacle. It is holding you back. If it makes you feel like that, if it's the most painful, then something's got to be done about it. And it could be that you need to make a move. And, there's uncertainty in making a move. And maybe there's fear around making that move, but it's something that is weighing on you. So pay attention to that. So these first two questions were more about what you thought, thinking mind, right? The next questions, I would like to tap into what it is that you felt in your gut, okay? What were the feelings? And the first question in this category is, what did you enjoy this year? I mean, write it down. If it actually made you joy, brought you joy, made you happy, then write it down. I am hoping that this list is very lengthy for you, but I have a feeling that maybe for some of you, it's not. And if it isn't, there's no judgment there because I have been there too, in a place where I felt so disconnected from myself, I couldn't tap into joy or happiness. So if the things this year that brought you joy, then they go into the I want more of this category. If some of the things that are on the list, I didn't have joy around this, well, then you got to pay attention to that. So for me, one of my highlights, well, many, many highlights, but as far as a category was spending time with my grandson. It brought me joy beyond what I could imagine. Those little cheeks, I could just kiss them to pieces. And because that's important to me, then that goes on to, I want more of this list. So spending time with him, building in time, scheduling time so that I've got time with him. Because, my happiness goes beyond my business. It's me as a person too. Last question is, what sucked the life out of you this past year? Again, make a list, and this one might be a little easier to create. Are there people, maybe projects, or dare I say it, pandemics, sorry, had to go with the alliteration, that are pulling you down? And if you feel that there is something in your life and it is sucking the life out of you, you don't want it going on any longer than it has to. That feeling is coming up for a reason. So how can you create boundaries? If you can't eliminate it, how can you create a boundary around the most painful items on this list? So as you jot this down, just pay attention. What are the patterns, whether it's in your work or in your life, pay attention to the patterns. They're showing up for a reason. They show up to show you something. They're here to serve you as long as you can recognize them. So use them as a foundation. Use them to up-level in 2022 and reboot that year for you. So until the next time, I am wishing you all of the clarity so that you can find those patterns and do something about it that you deserve. Take care and bye-bye for now.